Good morning, everyone. Blank screen for you. Well, not quite, but blankish screen. How are we all? Morning, Eunice. Hi, Sarah. Oh, good morning, Roz, Kaz, Marjorie, Gillian. Hope you're okay, Gillian. Morning, Fiona. Yeah, well, not quite early birds at 11 o'clock in the morning now, are we? Although it is Sunday, so I'll let you off. Morning, Sue. Morning, Shirley. And another Shirley, Karen. Rosemary, Heather, Jenny, Jane, Julia, Sandra. Hi, everybody. So thank you very much for joining me today. Now, I know I did speak to a couple of people during the week, and I said I was going to do something. And I've had to change that plan because they're out of stock at the moment. So, oh, hi, Helen. Glad you're here. So I'm sorry, but we're on to something a bit different. I will be able to bring you what I was going to do. I won't tell you what it was a little bit later, but I want to make sure that they're in stock just in case anyone would like to join in with them. So today we're going a bit off-piste. So I'm going to show you some of these new watercolour inks. So these are the Cosmic Shimmer watercolour inks. And they are the pearlescent ones. So they come in two different types. So there's watercolour, ordinary watercolour, and this one, which is the pearlescent. They had escaped my notice for a month until I got some to have a look, and then I've fallen in love with them. And I think you might quite like them as well. So I'm going to just play about them and let you have a look and see what you think, which would be interesting to see what you do think. So there are 10 colours in all. My camera monitor is showing me as if they all look the same colour in there, but they're not. So the ones that I have got to show you here is Lilac Sapphire, which doesn't look lilac at all in the colouring that I've got there, but Lilac Sapphire. Then we've got A Rainy Sky, Jade Sparkle, and Turquoise Cascade. But as I said, there are actually 10 colours. And when you look at them initially, I think that the first things I thought was, gosh, they're a big bottle. They are quite a big bottle for watercolour. But in actual fact, unlike a lot of watercolour, they're already a liquid. So you can use them absolutely straight on. And I'm just going to show you a few ways to work with them. So two things to note. One is the pearlescent ones, which we're using today, are absolutely chock-a-block with mica. Now, I do hope you can see this because this is one that I have not shaken, and I'm hoping that you can see it. So I'm going to bring it close to the camera so you can see. So up the top here, this one's Lilac Sapphire. So this one, I've not shaken it at all. So I've got just pure watercolour ink sort of thing at the top. But I'm hoping that you will be able to see as I turn it. Can you see the different colour that is there to there? And that there is just chock-a-block with mica. And just if you're not aware, mica is the thing that makes things shine. So it's absolutely chock-a-block. So you do have to really shake this to mix up all the mica into this bit here. Having done that, you then come up with all the mica in your ink. And the bottle is like this, and this is a push down thing. So you push it down and it picks up the ink and then drop the ink out of your dropper bottle. So bit of poshness here first thing in the morning, I think. So yeah, more shaking, Sarah. I know. But well worth the shake. So just to show you that you do have to shake. The watercolour selection. So this one is watercolour pearlescent, but watercolour ordinarily would not need all the shaking, but it's just, I do like sparkle. So that's why we've got sparkle. So I'm just going to work with those 4 colours, and I've got watercolour cards, only because I want to put a lot of water on it and therefore it will take it. but you can do it on ordinary card as well. So just to start off with, I'm just going to show you that if I spritz my water across there, and let's take the, what did I call it? Lilac Sapphire. So I'm going to press down on my button at the top and pick some up. Okay, and then I'm just going to drop some onto my surface there. And possibly you can already see that because it was water underneath, it's already starting to move a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to stick some Jade Sparkle on there because I can. Oh, if I can undo it. So again, just going to put a few drops on there like that. So there's lots of different ways I can do this. So I could, let's do this one first. I could take my aqua pen and I could just move that across. So I'm adding a little bit of water to it because of the aqua brush that I'm using, but not too much. Okay. Let's get my tissue here because I need to take off all this beautiful colour. So I could do that, which is just adding water to an already watered base. Now, as it starts to dry, hopefully you can see this. Hold on, I think I might bring the camera down a little bit so you do have more chance to see such a thing. As it starts to dry, you might see, oh, excuse me, you might see some of the patching that comes about because it is a watercolour. So let's take our lilac again, and I'm just going to put just 1 or 2 drops. And then hopefully you can see what happens to this. I'm going to bring that up close to you. So you can see that as it starts to settle, it's a little bit like the alcohol little ink, where it starts to really push out, and it pushes out the other colour that was behind it. So if you've got Lavinia stamps and things like that, the sort of solid silhouette stamps, it would work very, very well for something like that. And I'm not quite sure, as it starts to dry, you will see all this shine here. So I'm then going to do a bit more spritzing there, because the good thing about this is that you can add water to it after and reactivate it, if that's the word. Yeah, so you can see again, it's starting to move again. Okay, and then if I was to go a bit mad, take my cloth here and really spritz it. I don't know why I keep putting the lid on there. So I've got lots of water on there, and I'm now mixing it all about. I'm a bit of a roller coaster here. I just want to mix it, and then I'm putting it onto my bit of tissue here just to soak up all of the bits, and I just want to encourage that to really drip down and make it. So remember that we had the really vibrant colours, and if you're not a vibrant colour person, you may have been put off by such a thing, because you might think, oh, don't want bright orange and bright pink and whatever. But if you do something like this technique, you will see that that has now turned into a very pale colour there. I'm going to trim this about, so I don't mind that it's got drips down here. But if you then look at this, can you see the mica that is actually, that middle line there is just mica, the actual shiny part of it. But you'll see in a minute, there's loads left on here as well. But so that's that bit. I'm just going to dry this off a minute. So sorry about the blast of this again. Just want to dry this off because it changes its shape even after that. Hold on, do it a bit quicker than that. So this is watercolor card. So you will find a bit of a difference if you did this on ordinary cards. To be fair, it wouldn't work quite so well. But if you want to add ink to it or anything on the background, you will need to dry this off well first. Okay, I got a bit carried away with the water here. Now I've got no lights on in the craft room here today, but hopefully in just a minute or two I'm going to show you how the mica is actually, you would have thought with all that bit of tissue there that I'd actually taken it off. And as I'm not going to use that little bit, I'll just mop that bit up. Oops. But I don't know if you can tell, I do hope you can. Can you still see that shine, that shimmer to it all? That it's still masses of mica is still sitting on there. Yeah? So if we were doing something like that, let's go over and, hold on a second, take one of the stamps that we had when did we have that? About 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Let's put things to one side here. And that is the, I think it's called the Idyllic Wintry Scene. Paper's gone all wonky, but not to worry. We'll sort that out in just a second. Just wanted to show you how lovely this looks. So it's a different way of doing a background. I did put an awful lot of water on here, which is why it's gone quite so bendy. And I wouldn't normally put so much, but I just wanted to show you some of the different techniques. But there's more, so let me show you those in a minute. So I'm just going to pop my scene over onto my page and just show you just that, yeah, which I'm going to take that off because I'm going to show you another one in a second. Put that to one side. But even that, if you then chop this all down, is just so pretty. And if you're not into colouring and you don't want to colour anything, you've already got that scene there that is just a really pretty Christmassy scene. And then if you grabbed one of your sentiments, of which I had here earlier, what do we do with them? Hold on a second, because they're my favourite sentiments. We've got to have those on there. Oh, do you know, there are so many lovely sentiments, aren't there? So many lovely sentiments. So let's go with this one. No, don't want that. Bear with me because I've got to have the one that I want. Here we go. We'll go for this one. So I'm just going to pop this onto an acrylic block, which I might regret because I've got no stamping mat underneath it. Just stamp it up and pop him into the corner there. Yeah. And then you've got, you know, a lovely different type of thing. But can you see that shine? I do hope you can see that shine. There's a lot of it up there that is catching the light, I think. Okay, so that is one way of using it, but let's go a bit further. So I'm going to take another piece of card here, and I'm going to now, what colour should we choose this time? I think I'll go for the, what's it called? Rainy Sky and the Jade Sparkle. So I'll give that a bit of a shake. And put some of that in. A couple of drops of that. Okay. So now I'm going to give that a bit of a spray. So I haven't sprayed the card to start off with. I've sprayed it afterwards. I'll take my... so you're going to get a much more watery colour here. Yeah, much more, because I've watered down the colour beforehand. Just so pretty. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just taking it across like that, and I'm not doing anything else to it. I'm not taking a special, well, yeah, it is a special brush. It's an aqua brush, but I've just gone across with all my colours there. It wants to drip down a bit. Hold on, I'm going to let it drip down because I want to just dry that off. So let's just quickly dry that off. Oops. This time I haven't got quite so much water on, and therefore haven't taken quite so much of the mica away. I think you can see that this one is really, really sparkling. Can you see that? It's so lovely and shiny. It really is. So then if we took some more solid things, let's try those. So I've got some solid poinsettia type things and some all sorts of pretties here, just to give you an idea of what you could do. So you've got your backgrounds. And we go this time for black ink. No, we won't. We go for a dark blue, twilight, a very dark blue. But I'm going in for the Versaclair ones because they have got such a good coverage when it comes to wanting to do a solid stamp. So this sort of thing, as I said, would be absolutely ideal if you wanted to do your silhouette type stamps with it. So the Lavinia and that type of thing. Okay, so you've got that. This is again going to be a nice flat Christmassy one, maybe. Whoops. All sorts of things like that. Now, I should have been doing that with my stamping platform because there's no way that I'm going to get that back in there, is there? Just going to mess that up. No, I didn't really. Oh, surprising, isn't that? And then we're going to go in with a bit of the foliage. Drop that in these corners. You know, you can mix and match and play about with them, but the whole point is trying to see here that we have got a background already which you can just play about with some of the stamps that you've already got on there. And then you might want to have a great big, let's say we've got someone that's got a winter birthday, so you want to make it a bit winter. And then we go straight on there with our happy birthday. So that could be another card. And then you could get one of the colours that you've picked out from there, something like this one, and then just pick that up. Let's pop the lid back on there, Maxine. That's a good idea before we get it everywhere. Okay, so you could just pop that onto there, maybe even a dark colour as well. And that's another lovely card there. Okay, so we've got lots of styles here. So then we're going to take another one. And this time I'm going to use my purple, my lilac, and my whatever I have got there. Let's go for the, what was it called? Rainy Sky, which, blimey, I wish rainy skies looked like that colour, because they certainly don't here. So another little bit, this time I'm going to pop it onto the side. So I've got a couple of little colours there. And then I'm going to, actually, wait a minute. I'm going to put a few more drops. So I've got my craft sheet on here. So it's my waterproof craft sheet here. So I just want that. Just going to spritz that, and then going to perhaps spritz it a bit more and pop my watercolour card down on it and just move it about. So I'm moving it about underneath, and oh, and it's come through the top as well. And I'm just going to squash that down so that I pick up all the colour onto the side. And when I bring that back, we've got, again, beautiful, just faded colour, just perfect. Okay. You can even see the mica on my tissue there. It's just absolutely loaded. And let's just hold that. And again, I'm going to dry this one off. So you can apply it straight to there. You can apply it washed onto a washed card. You can apply it onto something like this, a surface that you just pick it up. Lots of different ways. And when you dry it off, you can see that there's still bigger patches of mica hanging around. Okay. Such a pretty look. And what I thought was that when I use them, the colours that you can get, as I said, are very, very vibrant. But in actual fact, they lend themselves to be watered down and beautiful. Now I'm going to get another stamp, which is called the Cosmos Trio, I believe. And I'm just going to pop that into place there. So it's a trio of Cosmos flowers. Okay, I'm going to just pop that into position. Hold on, I want that in proper position, so thank you very much. You can come over there. I really need to position these a little bit better. I want my Cosmos to sit in the right place. Thank you. Right, okay. I'm going to use my VersaFine in Smoky Grey. And I'm just going to ink up my stamp. And press that over. Straight onto my dry surface. It does need to be dry, don't forget. Okay, so now we've got our little surface, our stamp on there. Close this lid up. Now I'm going to take the same colours. So I had the mauve and the rainy sky. And I'm just going to put a little drop back onto my mat here, or blending mat if you've not got a craft mat there. And I'm going to take one of my watercolour brush markers there. And I'm first going to start off with this mauve. So I'm just going to pick up a bit of mauve. Obviously, because I've got the watercolour, it's going to add a bit of water to it. And I'm going to start at the base, and I'm just going to take the colour out. So bearing in mind, I have not introduced another colour here. I'm taking exactly the same colours that I have already put into my mix. So I've just used the two colours, the lilac and the rainy sky, and I'm just using those two colours to paint my flower. So I'm starting off at the centre of the flower's petals, and moving out. As you can clearly see, I'm not a massive colorist, but the whole point is being able to show you that you too can do this, because you do not need, you no longer have to. When you were little, you were told that you had to colour in between the lines. And you know what? Now you have permission not to. You don't have to anymore, because it's watercolour and I've used the same colours on the back. So if it blends in, no one will be any wiser. I won't tell anyone if you don't tell anyone. But you can see that I'm not being very pedantic about going right up to the lines. If you go and look at, if you've got any flowers in your garden that are still looking beautiful, a lot of mine have gone over now, unfortunately, but they've done well. They've done well. If you go and have a look, you'll find that there isn't very few of them are absolutely perfect. And so to leave a little bit of, well, not white colour even, you can use the colour on the background. But because you've used the two colours, the colours that you actually put on the background, you're fine. It doesn't really matter at all. I'm putting a little bit more onto the buds because they would be a little bit more coloured. Okay, so then I'm just going to wipe that bit off. Don't want to use that colour. So I'm still going to use my Rainy Sky, but for my Rainy Sky, I'm just going to go in with the leaves, because if I put some green on here as well, it just doesn't work for me. I probably wouldn't choose the right colour green, and then it would look funny. And okay, they're not blue isn't the right colour for the petals or the leaves, but it doesn't matter because the background, I'm just picking out the colours. So wherever there is a bit of what would be a green, I'm just going in with the Stormy Sky, just because it is the same colour as what we used. And then I'm just going to go into the centre of these flowers and just put a darker piece, so more concentrated, just on these two flowers, the flower centres I should say, just so that shows up a bit more. Okay, it's drying, it needs a bit more I think, because I can. And there's, oh, I happen to have picked up just such a shiny piece there. And obviously as it's watercolour and the card is not saturated, it's drying in very quickly, which allows you to pick up again. So I just want to make sure that that is really, really lovely. Soak those two up. And the bottles are 20 ml, so they are a big bottle. You have got plenty in there to use. I'm just cleaning the pen. I'm just wiping it across my tissue, which pulls out the water in there, but then just, you know, just a minute ago it was that colour, but now it's absolutely clear again. Okay, so then if we just grabbed ourselves a little sentiment, what have we got here? There we go, this one will do. We'll go for one of these. So just going to use my same colour ink that I inked my flower with. And I'm just going to go down with a little thinking of you stamp down the bottom, and then that would be quite simply find a piece of card that fits in with that. So maybe mauve. So thinking of you, Cass. A little bit of mauve. Let's trim that down. I can't even remember what the measurement of this was, so let's have a look. So if we do 11 by 15.5, that should be all right. Should have just checked if we were wide enough there. Ah, good job I checked. Good job I checked. Because we're not. A bit like that. And a bit like that. Pop my card onto there. Your finger got stuck. Oh, that's lovely. I thought, oh gosh, new bottle. Hold on. It decided to wee itself. We don't want it to wee itself, do we? Oh. Put some in the middle for there because we've got the watercolor. That onto there. Grab myself a 5x7 if I can find one. Yeah. 5x7 card blank. Another, as I said, straight card. Okay, and there's your finished card. And hopefully you can see that absolute shine and shimmer on there, which, you know, just gives that extra special look. And if you're not sort of particularly into colouring flowers and things like that, if you just use these with the same colour that you've used your background, it's a little bit abstract. It's not your usual crisp, clean card, but you know, we don't have to be like that all the time. So there you go. There is our card for our Sunday special. So all the colours of our watercolour pearlescent ones are over on the website, maximumcrafts.com. There is a special offer for all 10 of them, but they're under £4 a bottle, so you can treat yourself, or just to a couple of colours, get yourself going or whatever. Just have a little play with them. The inks that you use on top, as long as you make sure that your background is quite dry, then the VersaFine ones are fine with it, or the Memento. They're not going to bleed. That's the only thing. You wouldn't want anything to bleed on top of that, so that wouldn't be very good. There is a few of the stamps that I've been using over on the website as well, if you're interested in any of those. And of course, there are the aqua water brush pens as well, so you might like to, if you haven't got those, I do recommend those if you fancy having a go for colouring and are not sort of thinking a budding artist. You're going to get all of the, I was going to say badger hair, I'm not quite sure what it's called, but not badger hair, is it? But anyway, is it badger hair? What do they use for brushes these days? I don't know. Anyway, a card. So I did promise Heather, I'm not sure if Heather's here, but I did promise Heather that I was going to show, yes she is, I can see now, that I was going to show some beautiful papers, because I have got the most beautiful papers that have come. However, I'm very sad to tell you, it could have been Fox. That's Sable, isn't it? Yeah, I think you're right, Fiona, for the brushes. The papers, I've decided, just have to be an online workshop for October. So I'm going to show you that a little bit later, because I'm racing on. Here we are, not even at the end of August yet, and I'm racing on until September. So that is going to be a show and tell, probably in a couple of weeks' time, when I can show you all the things that you're going to get in the kit for the October online. Just to remind you that I have also included another online workshop, because we were using the Winter Cheer, and sorry, I'm going to move over here. Using the Winter Cheer, this is the card, one of the cards that we'll be making on the day. And that's been so popular, I've decided to open up another class. So if you are interested, there are about 4 places left on the 4th online class for the month. And that is on the afternoon of Saturday, the 12th of September at 2 till 4, and it's via Zoom. So it's an interactive one. You can all actually talk to me So, well, or just listen or whatever you want to do. But that's for September. So lots of different ideas for you today, lots of different ways to use this very similar product. And I'm sure that if you fancy having a go and treat yourself, you might find that you'll also be able to use that product as well and come up with some probably even better ideas than I can. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Fast approaching Monday again, and we've got bank holiday weekend then. So, you know, something to look forward to for then. I will be back this coming Wednesday at 11 o'clock with some specials and some more exciting things coming through my doorstep every day to be able to share with you. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Have a great day. Don't forget to comment, not where you're commenting on the live chat, but when this all finishes, you can comment on the bottom. And I know lots of you are doing it, so thank you so much for that. But do go along and comment at the bottom. It helps with the logarithms or something. Probably not logarithms, is it? Well, whatever it is, that's far too maths. And anything you like, all over on the website, maximumcrafts.com. Have a great day. Take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye.